pretty reasonable. Okay, let's dive a little bit more on the mobile app. So iOS and Google, which means that pretty much anyone in the world with an Android or an iPhone can get on it. Can you break down any more features or other insights you'd like the audience to know about the mobile app?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the mobile app, it'll connect to just about any mobile wallet that you have. Obviously, currently it's cross chain to Binance and Ethereum at the moment.
Yep.
And what we're doing is we're looking at, and I can get more into this here in a little bit. We're looking at utilizing Layer Zero with OmniChain and a couple other things to really create the bridges across just about every network. Because, like you said, when you're looking at a public key wallet address, they're different. When you look at EVM, for the most part, the wallet addresses are the same.
Yep.
In when I say EVM, it's the Ethereum network. So anything like Binance and Ethereum and chains that are built off of that EVM are going to have the same address. So it's fairly easy for us to say, here's my name, it's Chris, and link that one address to it. So when you send anything to it, no matter what network you're on, it's going to get to my wallet. Where it gets a little more tricky is when you break off into these other networks that have different public key addresses that don't line up, and we need to associate those addresses with that same username, which we're in the process of doing. And utilizing Layer Zero is going to help us a lot with that. And then obviously we have some things to do on the back end. But what we're attempting to do, and what will work out great with the mobile app, because like we said, if we're trying to make this a tool similar to, say, like a Venmo, I don't want you to have to go look up somebody's anything. I just want you to know their name, whatever their username is. And unlike things like, like the ENS names, where that works off of one network, we want one username for every single network. So it does not matter if I send you anything from any chain, whether it be Algorand, whether it be Solana, whether it be whatever, I still only need that one name, and you will get those funds.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier, for sure. And you mentioned, see, that's another thing, that since there are so many public and blockchains that are popular, it does get really confusing. The user things, most users that are not deep into crypto think blockchain just mean Bitcoin or Ethereum, but it's a lot, or crypto means that's a lot more. And then you mentioned, like, what's it called? Drop is a app that got chosen to work with like Fed now. You mentioned Cash App, PayPal. So is Adapt, the app is working sort of like a payment processor plus transfers of coins?
Yep, that's what we're working towards. So when we're looking at Adapt, the next step for it actually is we're going to be incorporating an affiliate program. So that is the next thing in our pipeline. So with the mobile app full release, this allows us to now move on to the affiliate program. What that's going to allow people to do, like yourself or anybody else that's watching, is you'll have an affiliate link, and you can send that to whoever, recommend them if they sign up. Now, the great thing about our affiliate is it's not a one-time thing. When you look at a lot of these mobile apps, you get somebody to sign up, and you might get a bonus of, say, $20, or you might get whatever it may be. With ours, you get a lifetime. It's in perpetuity to earn anything that they do. So it's not going to increase our fee. Our fee will remain the 0.75. But what happens is now you get a piece of that 0.75. So anytime you refer somebody, and we don't know exactly what that's going to be yet. We still have a lot of testing to do.
Yep.
But let's say it's 0.1 or 0.2 of every transaction they make will now go to you rather than to us. So again, like I said, the fee won't increase on any other user, but you're going to get a piece of that for every single person you refer. So we're pretty excited about that. That's something that's very, it helps with marketing as well. It also helps with that passive income, like you're talking about.
Yeah, I was about to say the passive income. Definitely like to wake up to some money. So yes. All right. Can we go to Layer Zero? Can you break down what Layer Zero is? It's a buzzword for me. I haven't looked too deep into it.
Yeah, so Layer Zero is a series of smart contracts that allows really the integration of multiple chains to bridge into multiple chains in a much easier fashion to allow them to communicate. Basically, like when you're deploying Layer Zero, it's almost like you've already deployed onto every other chain based on the protocol, but you do have to drop a smart contract on the other chains. but they interact very, very seamlessly through this protocol.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of technical details you can get in with it, but it's really interesting the way this thing works at such. It's called layer 0 for a reason. It works at such a low level that communicating through it. So when we want to have a token branched on multiple chains, this is really the way we want to go, which is why and this is probably a good time to talk about why we kind of backed off of doing the bridge to Algorand. So
yeah, let's talk about it.
Last time we talked, we were discussing and in the midst of launching a bridge to Algorand from Binance using their state proofs. A couple of things changed with that. One, as we're in the middle of developing, some of our resources, some of the individuals that we were talking to and communicating with on the Algorand side, kind of fell off. I know there was a lot of stuff going on around that time.
A lot.
And it became very difficult to communicate with the individuals we needed to make sure that we were getting the resources we wanted. Because again, we talked about when we implement things, we want to do it the right way.
Exactly.
And I wanted to utilize their technology in the right way, and that became very difficult to get that information, that support. Also, it seemed as though some of the interest was going in other directions and not necessarily, wanting a bridge up at that time. Also, at the same time, that's when we were discovering things like Layer 0 and discovering things like Stargate, which is the ability to house one liquidity and tap that into multiple blockchains. Because one thing that's important to note when you're bridging over to any chain the traditional way, you need to establish a liquidity pool.
Yes.
And in order to establish a liquidity pool, those funds have to come from somewhere. All right. So it makes it very difficult when you're trying to establish on multiple chains and have to establish multiple liquidity pools. Again, that money has to come from somewhere, and we're in a bear market. So.
Yeah. and that's another thing I keep hearing as well. It's kind of like Algorand and some other cryptos are just kind of in their own world. And then you got the rest of the EVM world seems like 90% of all crypto is there and it's being interoperable and faster. The optimisms and all of that is just scaling up the speed, which is what most people are looking for. So it makes sense that you guys are like, okay, we'll just move, over into a different space, which I don't think is a problem at all.
Yeah. And I want to be clear. This is not that we're not going to ever be on Algorand. We really want to. I love their technology. I love everything about what they're doing. It's just we had to take a step back when we started kind of losing those resources and that connection, and they were doing their own thing, and I didn't want to, rock their boat too much while they were trying to sort out some things. So we just took a step
it was
back
at the my algo hack and all of that was happening. So they still got a few things to figure out, slowly but surely. I think it's happening because the tech is amazing, but you gotta keep it pushing if you need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So about the Adapt app some more. What are all the coins or tokens that you can send or receive over there?
Ooh, too many to list.
Too
I would
many.
say
There's
at least 80 of them on there between both blockchains.
I like that. So we don't have to definitely test that out over there. Okay, so the Adapt exchange. Can you talk more about what's going on with the exchange part of Adapt?
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of ties into it as well is the next step for Adapt itself on top of the affiliate program is going to be an integrated wallet based on smart accounts. Smart accounts, the new technology, a new protocol that's come out on the EVM as well, which is going to allow us to integrate an internal wallet inside of Adapt that is not set up like a traditional wallet. You still will get issued your own wallet, public and private key, but it'll work with a smart contract. So the smart contract will actually act on behalf of your traditional wallet, which will allow us to implement some really cool security features, such as blocking dusting attacks, allowing people to set up triggers for their wallet if any funds move out. A lot of different things that we can really go through that kind of mimic some of the things that you're used to with traditional finance in their fraud protection. So moving from that into the exchange, our exchange is going to be sort of in two faucets, right? So you got the peer-to-peer portion that is more direct. So with Adapt, it's more about sending funds, like I said, like you'd be using sort of a Venmo for to either pay somebody or just make a quick payment or whatever. Where the peer-to-peer exchange portion of it is more of a hey, I have this particular asset and I want to trade it for this asset under these terms. Right now, and I'm sure there are some things out there that utilize escrows and things like that where it makes it a little more secure to do that. But right now, it's kind of a trust method for most people because most people don't know where to go. Like, for instance, I couldn't name one place right now to tell you where to go to do it securely. But if you and I wanted to exchange funds, like an actual exchange, we'd basically just be trusting each other. Hey, I'm going to send this to you. I hope you send it back, man. Be a good guy. Don't rob me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're creating that platform that can allow that to happen, where it's, maybe you know the person, maybe you don't, doesn't matter, where I can post up certain assets and I can tell you, post up also what I'm looking for in return. And you can either fill that order or we can do custom orders as well. So that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is we realize that there is a need for things. There's a need for central exchanges, whether people know it or not, or willing to admit it. There is a need for it, at least at this time. There definitely is. We just need them to be on the up and up and ethical. So what we wanted to do is take some of that. What are people using central exchanges for? Trading is the biggest, probably the biggest, on ramping and off ramping, and then making trades. And there's a huge market out there for actual trading crypto. And I do understand this, you look at some aspects of it, you're looking at the technology of blockchain. You got some people that are looking in DeFi to buy and hold and do what they need to do in their decentralized